So hello everybody and welcome to our latest Yara Vita webinar. This time we're going to focus on some practical usage and our Tankmix service. This is a service that has been around for many years. It's not always known that we offer this service, so we thought it was a good time to promote the service just prior to the peak usage period of the products. The Tankmix service, as it says, is all about the tank mixability of the products. Will they go into the spray tank and will they come back out again? So firstly, I thought I'd just go back to basics. Why do we want to tank mix multiple products? Well, obviously it's all about enhancing and optimizing, whether that's machinery and labor. If we can optimize that, then we're into cost saving territory. We don't want to be driving over the crop twice when we could put everything in the tank and do it once, particularly if you're using a contractor, because you'll see that cost. But even with your own machinery and labor, every time we drive over the crop, that is a cost towards the growing of that crop. The other big reason why we want to tank mix products is to enhance timely applications, which ultimately will lead to improved crop performance, because we all know that a good product will never ever make up for a bad timing. We need to optimize those spray days, which can be few and far between, as we've seen in the last month, with many showery days. Even when we could travel, we couldn't actually get out in the field because the forecast wasn't good enough. So that's what we're trying to achieve, and by doing that, ultimately we're trying to improve crop performance, because that's what it's all about. Timely applications certainly do this. What happens when it goes wrong? Now, those that know me know I also jump on a sprayer whenever I can, and none of us have ever done this, have we? We've never had problems like this. I'm sure we all have at some stage, hopefully not like this chap down here. That looks a serious problem, but we'd have all seen blocked sprayer nozzles, blocked filters, gunge in the bottom of a spray tank, and largely that's down to an incompatible mix, or the fact that we haven't cleaned out from one mix onto another. There is a very simple way of preventing this from happening, and that's testing the products that they are physically compatible in the spray tank, and that is what the Yara Vita tank mix service is all about. Because if we get it wrong, it can be very costly. The biggest cost is downtime, and as we've said, that downtime can impact crop performance, because if we are delayed with our applications, then we have big issues. It may be that we miss a herbicide timing, the growth stage cutoff. We've then clearly got very big issues. But even not optimizing that correct fungicide time can have a big impact. There is also then the actual financial cost of a spray mix that's gone wrong. So if you put numerous things in the spray tank and it all goes like jelly and it doesn't come out again, that can be a massive expense. And here's just a worked example of a 3,000 litre sprayer tank applying at 150 litres a hectare water volume. That's 20 hectares in that tank. At 100 litres, it's 30. If we say a tank mix cost of £70 a hectare, let's say it's a T1 timing and we've got fungicides, growth regulators, herbicides and nutrition in that mix. That's not a silly amount of money, but actually you add it up over that 20 hectares, it's £1,400 of lost product. Add to that the cost then of disposing the product, which can be very costly. So that's a financial impact. But again, we can't underestimate the impact of missing a spray timing. It is absolutely critical in everything we do, and that's why we offer the service. Our colleagues, my colleagues, Yara area managers, Yara agronomists are out there talking to farmers and agronomists about the products. So we go to a field and we say, actually, we recommend this product. The first question is, can we mix it? If we put them in the spray tank, is it going to come out again? And rather than just have a guess, we offer the Yara Vita tank mix service. what I would say is, as you saw on our previous webinar, and the formulation webinar is still on YouTube, so please feel free to go and watch that one. When we manufacture our products, everything we do through the process of development is done to optimize tank mixability with agrochemicals. There is no point in us making the best product in the world that then you cannot mix with a multitude of products you want to, for all the reasons we've just mentioned. And you'll see that through that webinar. So I would encourage you to have a watch of that, because we are looking at putting the best raw ingredients into the can, so that the products work efficiently, but also they're safe, and also you can tank mix them. And purity is really, really key with some of the nutrients we make. The tank mix service we offer is there to offer peace of mind to agronomists and farmers that you can then test that is the case. But we optimize everything from the start of the process right through to the end. So the journey where we get to today, when we're launching a new Tankmix website, it actually began back in 1989 when there was a telephone service when you could ring up the site at Pocklington and ask, is this product tank mixable? And we'd have a look and say yes or no. 1989, that was, yeah, it was pre-mobile phones, I'm sure. The actual Tankmix website was launched just over 25 years ago in 1997. That was a long time ago. It was actually before Google was in existence. And just for a bit of fun, who was the most successful pop band in 1997? And this will make some people feel really old. But yes, it was the Spice Girls. That's how long ago the Tankmix service was launched. A long, long time ago. Move forward to 2011, we actually launched an app called Tankmix It. And the app was launched with the real progress we saw in smartphones. So the app is there. It's currently undergoing a refresh, and we will have a new app hopefully sometime later in 2023. In 2019, unfortunately, the IT systems behind the scenes broke, and at that point, we weren't able to upload Tankmix testing into the database. I don't know why, I'm not an IT whiz, but all I know is that was the case. So we were still offering the service, you could still submit your requests, and we were doing the testing, and you were getting the report back as an individual. However, we weren't able to upload those results onto the Tankmix website. That has now changed. So in 2023, just over 25 years since launching the first Tankmix website, we have a new refreshed website. We have now started to upload all the test results that were done between 2019 and 2023. So there is a much bigger database to search for Tankmix results. So for those that are unaware of the service, this just gives you an indication of how widely it has actually been used. This is the number of thousands of survey searches per year for the last 12 years. There's over 300,000 searches being conducted on the Tankmix website. During that time, we've actually also conducted 15,000 Tankmix test requests that have come in through the website. On top of this, we are doing testing on a regular basis when we see new products coming to market, both from ourselves and from the agrochemical manufacturers. We have a close relationship with those manufacturers, so we are testing our products and their products pre to any product launches. But 15,000, that's almost 4 per day per year coming in during that period. And actually, the UK is the biggest user of Tankmix. During those 12 years, there's been over 43,000 searches conducted by people within the UK. So we are using the service, but one thing that's become apparent when I've been talking to people is not everybody is aware that this service is in existence, which is why we're doing this webinar today. So why did we need a new Tankmix website? As I've said, firstly, the IT system broke, so we were not able to upload test results since 2019. The other big area of growth globally has been seed treatments. Not big currently with us in Yara UK, but across the globe, they are growing dramatically. So more and more markets have been requesting Tankmix tests for seed treatments when we're mixing our nutritional or biostimulant seed treatments in with fungicides, etc. And as you can clearly see there, that website needed a refresh. It does look very, very 1997. It worked, but compare it to the new website, it looks so much better. So what we're going to do now is have a look at the website and how that website works. So the website is called tankmix.com. That's all you need to put into Google. And this is the page that you get to. So we select our country. Obviously, we're in the United Kingdom, and we can start typing. So, I'm coming up to T1 on barley, and I want to use Astra X Pro, and I want to recommend Yaravita Gramitrel in with that. So I can search Gramitrel X Pro, Astra X Pro and Gramitrel, and hit search for Tankmix results. It's as simple as that, and all these Tankmix results come in, and you can see where we've tested them, the date we tested, and the water volume it was tested at, as you will see there. What you can do then is say, actually, I want to adjust the search criteria because I'm not going to use Astra, I'm going to use Revastar XE. So let's have a look. So we change the name, we search for tank mixes, and there is 2, as you'll see there. Again, you can change this to anything. So let's say I'm going to go through my oilseed rape with some Toledo stem extension, and I'm going to use Bracitral Pro. Again, so simple, so easy to use. What I can also do on the website is request a tank mix if something isn't there. To do this, I go onto the top search bar and I hit request, and I want to go foliar tank mix. The key thing to remember in here is you have to fill in every box that's red. So very simple. I've done that the wrong way around, but add in your name and your email address. So anything that's red must be filled in. And then here is some guidance on mixing orders, and we'll cover that when we do a video shortly. And then I can start to add in the various products here. So I'm going to use Gramitrel, and I'm going to go at 2 litres a hectare. And then I'm going to use Astra X Pro at 1 litre, but I want more in my tank. So what I need to do then is add ingredient here in the bottom left. So I'm going to also add in some Chlormiquat at 2 litres. I've still got more I want to put in. I'm going to put some Modus in at 0.1. I'm going to put some Ali SX in at 42 grams. So if we want to change the unit of measure, we can do here. And then I want to spray that in 150 litres of water. And then all you do then, I'm not going to press it because it will give somebody a job that doesn't need doing. And then you press submit. What happens then is, behind the scenes, that request will go to the lab at Pocklington. And in the lab, Linda, it's normally Linda does the tank mix testing. She will then do that test and reply back to you with a report on the result. So that's how simple the website looks. So let's now talk about the tank mix test procedure. The first thing I would say here is the tank mix testing we are doing is looking at physical compatibility. Will it mix in the spray tank and spray out without problems? It is not looking at biological compatibility. It is only looking at physical compatibility, so tank mixability. So as you'll see, the request comes in via the tankmix.com website or the Tankmix It app, which is still live on the phone. For me, I would use the website. The website can also be accessed off your phone. When we get a new app, we will then launch that app later in 2023. The rates then are scaled down to carry out the test in 100 ml of water. So everything is then proportionally scaled down. We do the mix, we shake the mix, and importantly, we leave it to stand for 1 hour. At that point, we then do a visual assessment, and then we will then report back whether it's compatible. So physically compatible, no problems, is a C. CA is compatible with agitation. So that basically means in a practical world, keeping that pump going and pumping it around the sprayer. The key one is NC, non-compatible. And if you do get NC back, please believe it. Do not think, oh, well, it might be all right. That's why we offer the service, and we'll go through a video and explain why. We then write that report up, and that's emailed back to the customer. So you, as the person who is requesting that, and then the result is then also uploaded onto the database. We generally use the products that are requested. However, if an active ingredient is requested or the product is not suitable, then or the same, we then use the next nearest thing. So this could be a case where you've requested a generic product, but we only have the R&D product in stock. We will then do the test with the branded product, and that will be noted on the report when it comes back to you. If for any reason it's a very specific product and we haven't got it, then we'll request that you send a sample in for us to then test. And as I said, everything goes on tankmix.com website. Key thing to remember is it's physical compatibility, not biological. So let's have a look at a video where Linda is doing various tank mixes, and we can talk through them and explain to you what is happening. So here we have a number of test tubes with various mixtures. The first tube is that C. It's that physically compatible mixture. As you can see there, very, very clear. This next one is what we would class compatible with agitation. As you can see there is some settlement, but the minute we agitate that, it goes back into solution and there is no problem. That would we class as CA. However, this next mix we class as non-compatible, because as you can see, even when we agitate, it immediately settles out. So we would class that as a non-compatible tank mix. So that's the difference between compatible with agitation in test tube number 2, test tube number 3, non-compatible. These next two show the importance of rates. So both of these tubes have the same product. One product is applied at 1 litre a hectare in both tubes. The other product is applied at 5 litres a hectare in one tube, 2 litres a hectare in the other. Which is which, do we think? This is why you should never assume, and you should check. Because actually, tube number 4 that you've just seen is the 5 litres a hectare rate, fully compatible. At the lower rate, as you can see in tube number 5, it is not compatible. This is an impact of pH because the products used are very low pH. But that just says do not assume that a higher rate is okay, a lower rate is okay. Please use the service. These next two show why we leave it for an hour. So as you can see there, when we do this mix, almost instantly, it looks absolutely fine. If that was a jar test, you'd say no problem. However, when we look at the tube next door, it's the same mix, but it's been left to stand for an hour. And you can see clearly there, it's gone like cotton wool. This would be incompatible. So this is why we leave them to stand for an hour. These final two show the importance of the correct mixing order. So tube number 7 has had a water dispersible granular product put in first, it's dissolved, and then we had a solution product. In tube 8, we're going to do them the opposite way around. So we add the solution first, followed by the wettable granule product. And as you can clearly see, tube 7 is the correct mixing order. It's fully dissolved, then add in the liquid product. In tube number 8, we added in the liquid product first, and now the WG product will not dissolve. No matter what we do to that product, it just looks like a snow globe. So the importance of mixing order, which is why we have that now on the website. This final tube just basically demonstrates why you should use this service, because what happens when it goes horribly wrong, you can see it already going horribly wrong in that test tube. So 3 products put in together, and yeah, as you can see, when it eventually does decide to come out the tube, it's just a horrible, sticky, gluey mess. So that's why we offer the service. It's a free service. Please, please, please use the service. So as you'll see in the tube 7 and 8, we talk about the correct mixing order. This is the correct mixing order that products should be added to the spray tank. They should be added according to their formulation type. This is our advice on a correct mixing order. If you was to look at other agrochemical websites, the advice is the same. Solid products should go in the tank first. There is a misconception that micronutrient products go in the tank last. That is not the case. They should go in according to the formulation type, because as we could see in tube 7 and 8, that makes a massive, massive difference. So please utilize the correct mixing order. This is on the website when you go on to Tankmix too. So just to summarize on Tankmix, always visit the website www.tankmix.com to check for the tank mixes you're going to do. Don't just assume they'll be okay. Please use the service. If the mix is not present, then use that request function that we demonstrated to request that tank mix. These are usually done within 48 hours. Very often, you will put a tank mix request in today and you will get that back tomorrow, not Saturdays and Sundays and bank holidays, because we can't crack the whip too hard. It's not fair on people. So, but generally, it's a very, very quick service. As you saw with those 2 tubes, do not assume because one rate is okay, another rate will be. Again, if you're in any doubt, please get it tested. Point number 4, if you're going to do your own bucket test or jar test on farm, please leave it for an hour before you decide. Because as you could see with that mix there, that was not compatible. However, had you mixed it up in the chemical store, left it for a few minutes, thought that's fine, pump a load into the sprayer breaks down, you've got a big problem, because as you could see with that, it was going like cotton wool very, very fast. So again, please use the service and then ensure the correct mixing order for any tank mix tests. So if you request something, please use that mixing order that we've highlighted. And then again, please use the correct mixing order when adding the products to the spray tank. There is no point in requesting the correct mixing order for a request, but then when it comes to being on farm, putting the products in whichever's nearest the chemical store door. Use the correct mixing order, because as we showed in the video, it's vital. And just to say, you know, this service is free. We do not charge for this service. It's part of our Yara Vita stewardship offering. We know people choose Yara Vita products because they are the best quality out there and they offer fantastic tank mixability. We know this because it's the feedback we get from farmers and agronomists all over the UK. It's free. Please, please, please use it. So just finally, before we end this webinar, I just want to talk about another practical thing that often gets overlooked, and that is the need to shake suspension concentrate products. With any suspension concentrate product, whether it is a Yara Vita product, a fungicide, a herbicide, orange juice in the fridge, or the best one is probably tomato ketchup, because if you don't shake tomato ketchup, you don't want to be the first person to squirt it on your plate because you get a watery mess. Correct? Yes, correct. Suspension concentrates need shaking. The reason why, again, is when you see that formulation webinar that we did, there is a very, very small amount of water that goes into these products. So if you don't shake them, you pour away all that water, what little bit there is, and all the formulation agents, the wetting agents, etc., all go with it. You then can't get the product out of the spray tank. So my advice, practically, as somebody who sits on a sprayer myself, is the first thing to do is invert the boxes. Turn the boxes upside down. You know, even if you mix a spray tank up, before you go to the field, get the next lot of boxes turned upside down. It makes a massive difference. The key thing then is to shake the products so that then they come out of the can. And just to demonstrate that, we have a short video showing what happens with a sample that's settled out over 2 and a bit years of being stood still. It's settled out, and you can see what happens. This is why it is critical to shake the cans. So as you can see there in this small sample pot, there is clearly some settlement there. The suspension concentrate has settled out. So as demonstrated again by Linda, if she pours that product straight out without shaking, what happens? The water and a little bit comes out, not much product. There's probably, I don't know, 2/3 of that product at least left in that pot. However, when she pours that material back in, shakes it up, and then repours, you'll see it all comes out. Obviously, if you pour it into an induction bowl, it's too late. You're not going to get it back out. So the key message is to really, really shake those cans, invert them first, and then shake them. It makes a big deal of difference. When it comes to rinsing, my advice is use a can rinse to start, but then add some clean water into the packs. And we're just demonstrating this here with a triple rinse. So no induction bowl used here. But by putting some clean water into the pack, putting the lid back on and shaking it up, we're then using all the adjuvant, stickers, etc. within the product to bring itself off the can. And I find this is the best way of washing the cans out. So a quick blast with a can rinse, put maybe 10% clean water back in, so a litre in a 10-litre can, put the lid back on and shake it up. Once you've shaken it up, pour that back in, use the can rinse again, and you'll be amazed how quickly the cans come clean. That was just a bog standard triple rinse with no induction bowl. For me, that's a better way of doing it than just blasting away with a can rinse, because you are using the chemistry within the products to self-clean the cans. So I hope you found this webinar useful. It's very practical. As I said, the Tankmix service is free to use, so please use it. Visit www.tankmix.com, use the service, and prevent any problems. Thank you for watching.